Hello, welcome back to my channel. I wanted to do a video today on my lunch hour. I'm using a deserted office in the building where I work. I wanted to do a video today on a rookie mistake that I saw somebody had made because they're a brand new crocheter. They've never done this before and they're just now learning, and they wanted to make a granny square. Okay, and I did two sample squares, one that shows just a ordinary granny square, basic granny square, and then I made one that included the mistake that the new person had made, because I wanted to show how to kind of reverse engineer a granny square and make sure that when you want to make a square, you know where certain stitches go and how many and that kind of thing. So the first granny square I made is this one. This basic granny square. It's 3 rounds, because that's all that the person had made. Now with this one, I have to admit, I used a 6mm crochet hook, even though for this yarn it would be a 5.5mm. The reason I did that is because I am working on a project that does require a 6mm hook, and it's the only hook I brought with me to work today so that I could work on this project on my lunch hour. And I didn't bring a 5.5mm, but that's okay. We can make do with what we have. So as you can see, this has the set of 4 3 double crochets in the center. There's set 1, set 2, set 3, set 4. Each cluster is separated by 2 chain stitches. In between each cluster is 2 chain stitches. That's what these are wrapped around. Okay, so when you go to row 2, what you're looking at is a row of all corners. Okay, row 2, as you can see, these have their root or their feet wrapped around the chain 2 that's in between these 2 clusters here. Okay, and then what you would do here is you would chain 1 to jump over this right here, chain 1, then work another corner, which is 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets. Okay, and all the way around on row 2, round 2 I should say, it's all corners. You're making corners to expand your square and make it bigger. So you've got your corner here, and like I said, you can see where the stitches are wrapped around the chain 2. You would do a chain 1 between this and this. This is creating the straight side, okay? Then you would do your 3 doubles, your 2 chains, your 3 doubles, okay? So that's how you work your corners. As you can see, this is the corner here, and here's your side, okay? Coming up the middle here. From here, then you do a space, then you do stitches. As you can see, it alternates. Stitches, space, stitches. And what you'll also notice as well is, pardon me, it mirrors. This round in the center kind of sort of mirrors this round, because you got stitches here and stitches here. But on round 2, you have a big opening right here. So that's how you can also tell you're doing the right thing, because you got 3 doubles here, 3 doubles here. You have a big space in between. So on round 3, what you would do, now this is how I do it. I tend to work in a corner first, and I chain up 2 to form the double crochet on the corner. Let me see if I can find that on the samples. Okay, yeah, it's right over here. The first thing I did was I chained up 2, and then I worked 2 double crochet, and that was this right here. I then did a chain 1, okay? You don't always have to do a chain 1. Here's a secret I've picked up on. If on the corner you do a chain 2, it's a good idea to do a chain 1 as you go across the edge. It keeps everything balanced. But what you can do, if you want your square to be a little bit more tight, you can do a chain 1 on your corner, right here in the middle. I did a chain 2 on this one, but you could do a chain 1, then you do your 3 double crochets, then you jump over these down here. You could not chain between this and this. if you're doing a chain 1, you don't need to put a chain right here. And it makes the square a little bit smaller and a little bit tighter and firmer. But for the purposes of this, I did 3 doubles, chain 2, 3 doubles, chain 1 over the top of these, so you got your stitches, then you have a space. So it alternates as you come up. Then you have your 3 doubles, which is over a space, which lines up with these down here. See how these line up? Then you do a chain 1, okay, over the top of these, so it jumps over and moves your hook over these. Then you do your next corner of 3 doubles, 2 chains, and 3 doubles. So that's what I did for this one. Now, what the person who posted their brand new square did was, I'll show you, I made it with green yarn. I didn't bother to sew the tails in on this. Can you see what they did? I made it exactly the way it showed in the picture that they posted online. What happened was, the new crocheter got the center correct and also got the corners of round 2 correct. But on round 3, what they did was they did a corner cluster. They did the clusters here with a chain 2 in the middle. This is typically where one set of 3 double crochets would go, right here, in between this corner and this corner. So, however, they were consistent. I will say this. The person did this corner configuration all the way around. And like I said, I made this one exactly the same way as was shown in the picture. So what you have is, you have like these little points or these little peaks on what typically would be a straight edge. Now, this is not to say that this could not be used as a motif, like for, say, a shawl or something like that, or possibly an artistic wall hanging or something like that. It could be used. This is how, actually, as you're playing around with yarn, you end up discovering something new, like a new pattern or a new way to do something, etc. So the time in the yarn has not been wasted. Sure, you could frog this and you could easily work the stitches of round 3 over again so that it looks like this one. But I think, excuse me, it would be a really great idea to make a couple of these, 2, 3, 5 maybe, and just see if they could be maybe joined over here possibly, or joined on the corners or something. What I think I might do with this, if it was an oops and I didn't want to waste my time or the yarn, I would think about possibly joining them, like I said, making a wall hanging. I would also think about going down 1 hook size for yarn like this. You would use a 5.5 millimeter hook. I would go down to a 5 millimeter, possibly even a 4.5, and make these stitches quite firm, so that, you know, with bigger stitches like this, that's the result of using this hook. The square is a little bit floppy, and it doesn't hold shape too well, just holding it. But if you were to go down to a 5 or a 4.5 millimeter, this would be a lot firmer. I may decide to do one of these at home when I have my smaller hooks available to me, just to see what would happen, just to see how nice and firm this would be. You could probably block it, and like I said, turn it into a shawl, turn it into a wall hanging, turn it into possibly a scarf, you know, for cold weather or something like that. This could be used. This can be part of a project, even if it isn't oops. I think about Bob Ross, who used to, you know, do that painting TV show, The Joy of Painting. And he said there's no happy little accidents, just happy coincidences or something like that. To him, if you made an error in the painting, just go with it. Work it into the painting. Or I've also heard it put, if you stumble, make it part of the dance. Okay? If you make a mistake, make it part of the work. If you have an oops, keep going and make it part of your project. So it would be very easy to correct this if you wanted to do so. You could pull out the third round and frog it all the way back and start the third round over again, and simply work your typical corner, which is here, your 3 double crochets and your chain 2, followed by a chain 1, followed by 1 set of 3 double crochets and a chain 1. Then you would just work the next corner and keep going. But I think this is very interesting because here's the thing about this particular configuration that I noticed. It's going to be a little hard to hold it and show you what I mean. These, when you connect them visually, these extra double crochets and everything, it forms a 6-pointed star. And I'm thinking, what if you did that in blue and white? That would be very interesting. It's like, okay, so here's the bottom of one of them, and here's the other 2. So it's going to be hard. But here's the top. So this is a very interesting configuration that could be used in a project. Now, just very quickly, let me go ahead and turn around and reach into my project bag real quick here. The project that I'm working on right now that I have decided to use my 6mm hook on is a great big puff stitch. It's going to be like a Latgan, and I kind of left off over here on the blue round, and I am doing it in blue and gold, which for those people who know Harry Potter, these are the actual Ravenclaw house colors according to the book, okay? It's not blue and silver as you saw it in the movie. It's blue and bronze, and this is pretty close to a bronze, color. Or it could be, if you have somebody who's attending the Naval Academy, navy colors. And there's like several different professional sports teams or high school teams or whatever who use these colors. My high school colors were blue and gold at Laurel High School in Laurel, Maryland. So this kind of thing would, be an interesting gift for somebody who either attends the Naval Academy or attends a school or likes a team whose colors are blue and gold, or if they're a Harry Potter fan and they're a Ravenclaw, maybe they've done the sorting hat test, and they're a Ravenclaw. This would be nice for them to, once it's completed, to throw over their bed, and it would look absolutely fabulous. I've also noticed something about puff stitch when you do something like this. There's no wrong side, really. Both sides look exactly the same. It's not like granny squares. And with my granny squares, by the way, I turn on each round, so that way it would be perfectly square. But with this puff stitch, the sides look exactly the same. So there's, like I said, there's no wrong side to the project at all. So I kind of like this stitch. I did one of these. I frogged a red and black project that I had done, but the person that was intended to receive it, unfortunately, he passed away. So I decided not to complete that particular, it was an Afghan, and I did this same pattern in red, black, and white. And I'm thinking about making it a gift for someone that I work with. So we'll see. But this is what I'm using my 6mm hook on, so I'm getting some nice big, fluffy puff stitches. I like the way this looks. I love the bigger stitches, and it's so soft and buttery. It's like, if my husband looked at this and he said, that would make a great mat for the kitchen or whatever. I'm like, really? But if you were to set your bare feet on it, it would feel so soft and squishy and buttery. It's just, my cats would love this. My cats would be kneading on this all day long, all day long. So this is what I'm using my 6mm hook on, and I think it's going to look fabulous. So there we go. So there's our little, rookie error 101, how to correct it, what to look for, how to really look at stitches and sort of reverse engineer a granny square, and also to be aware that even when you do make a mistake, sometimes it can be a really like this, like an oops, where you're like, oh, that's actually really cool. Maybe I should keep going with this, and I bet I could use this in something. So there we have it.